critique gets back to an earlier point that was made earlier in this essay about how you can't have a predetermined conclusion in science if you're really doing science. That violates the philosophy of science. This next excerpt, these are both from page 5, by the way, goes a little bit more in depth with some really specific and kind of odd beliefs that Skinner has about what science is and is not. Let me show you. In support of his belief that science will demonstrate that behavior is entirely a function of antecedent events, Skinner notes that physics advanced only when it, quote-unquote, stopped personifying things and attributing to them wills, impulses, feelings, purposes, and so on. Therefore, he concludes, the science of behavior will progress only when it stops personifying people and avoids reference to internal states. No doubt, physics advanced by rejecting the view that a rock's wish to fall is a factor in its behavior because, in fact, a rock has no such wish. For Skinner's argument to have any force, he must show that people have wills, impulses, feelings, purposes, and the like no more than rocks do. If people do differ from rocks in this respect, then a science of human behavior will have to take account of this fact. Go ahead and pause to read if you'd like to read the next paragraph. So Chomsky continues to go a little bit more in depth, talking about Skinner's specific ideas about there not being internal states to things, and his argument that Skinner's argument that science doesn't involve the investigation of inner states. And Chomsky goes on to demonstrate that for both science and engineering, it is the study of internal states that is really the focal point. For example, in an engineering problem, you're going to try to figure out, suppose it's a mechanism that's not working. The problem is to get the mechanism to work. You want to understand the internal process. So this is a fallacy. This is a fallacy that Skinner has in his beliefs about science that actually go against the grains of how we define science. So this is all back to my original point, which is that when we use animals